Hello, people of Earth, and welcome to a rerun. But don't think of it as a rerun. Think of it as a visit from podcast past as we go back to A Very Nutty Christmas, an episode that was originally recorded live in December of 2020. It was before Jessica St. Clair had her act together in regards to being able to record properly. I think this is before the deep dive. Be that as it may, we didn't want to just give you dead air this week because we know that not everybody is off. Some people are working. And you know what? We want to give you entertainment. If you are looking for more, you're at home with your parents, you want something to watch, may I direct you to my Twitch page or my YouTube page where Rob Hubel and I hosted for the first time ever Celebrity Yard Sale. Celebrity Yard Sale was a chance for Rob and I to have celebrities come out and give away their stuff. We gave away the Earwolf table, but we had guests like Kumail Nanjiani, Lauren Lapkus, Nicole Byer, Carl Tart, Rob Riggle, and Ben Lee, just to name a few. And it was such a great 4-hour event, 2 hours in each day. You can watch it now all on my YouTube channel. Also, Eva Anderson was our appraiser and she was just wonderful. So if you need 4 hours of new entertainment, head on over to my YouTube page or my twitch.tv/friendzone page. You can watch it there. No ads. Totally free. We are going to drop an episode of Unspooled into the How Did This Get Made feed. It's a shortened episode of Love Actually, which we hated. And it felt to me like a perfect treat because it is the most How Did This Get Made episode of Unspooled that we've done besides Forrest Gump. And I thought that if you haven't listened, this might be a great chance for you to enjoy something that is right up your alley as far as what we do here. So we got stuff coming up for you. You're going to listen to Nutty Christmas now, but if it isn't already obvious, next week, the next movie we're doing, because we're not going to do a last looks, is going to be Morbius, recorded live in Chicago. Morbius is a brand new episode. It has a 15% on the tomato meter, but a whopping 71% audience score. How is that possible? One word, bots. Nick Schrager of The Daily Beast says Morbius, not the epic disaster we expected. It is, however, generic as hell. Oh man, I liked my experience watching Morbius. I will say it does not go down badly. I think that people reacted to Black Adam like, ooh, that was tough to watch. Morbius is fun to watch. Say what you will about Jared Leto. The guy is fucking electric. But now, before we get a brand new episode, I want to take you back to December 2020. Jessica St. Clair barely knowing how to do anything. All-star St. Clair joins me, June, and Jason to discuss the 2018 Lifetime movie, A Very Nutty Christmas, starring Melissa Joan Hart, the Christmas Queen, as we talk about music montages, hot nutcrackers, and the Mouse King. Finally, a movie for all the people out there who always wanted to fuck a nutcracker. We saw A Very Nutty Christmas, so you know what that means.
Schwarzenegger grow a baby in his belly, rock a rhinestone vest while ripping Justin to Kelly, or maybe see a burlesque show with Nick Crow and take a boat with speed to hitting cruise control. J-Man, Big Paul, and the beautiful June, gonna take you from the room all the way to the room. Renegades and Street Fighter help to blow off steam, just a sucker punch the odd life of Timothy Green. Shot Neil, the birdemic, how we staying alive. They call me when they're badass and he's on the line, cranking 88 minutes cause they cool as ice, cause they're bad Jim Varney looking kinda nice. Paul and June getting literal, Jason is getting laid. June is making sure all the monkey shots getting paid. They're just a bunch of movies while they're making the grade. Here's a real question for you, how did this get made? That's a good look.
Yes, hello people of virtual Earth. Welcome to How Did This Get Made? I am Tall John Shear, and we are so excited to be with you. I know people are watching all around the world. We're so excited to be in your living room and celebrate the holidays with you, and we have a very big special movie for you today. We are going back to the world of Lifetime films. Oh, we love a Lifetime film. And we are exploring the Melissa Joan Hart film, A Very Nutty Christmas. Now, what do you need to know? Well, very simple. Melissa Joan Hart is a baker who is incredibly overworked. Although I have some questions about why this small bakery is... anyway, we'll get into that. She's incredibly overworked and has a chance encounter with a German man who gives her a nutcracker who comes to life. She kind of falls in love with him, and then the holidays are brought together. I don't know. I don't want to spoil the end. I know you've already seen it, but I want to talk about it with my two amazing co-hosts, and they are chomping at the bit to get out here. Please welcome Mr. Jason Mantzoukas.
What's
Welcome,
up, jerks?
It's our holiday show.
That was me moonwalking as an entrance. Consider me eligible for the Olympic breakdance team. I am in it to win it. I can moonwalk, I can pop, I can lock. So consider me available, United States breakdance team, for the Olympics. Happy holidays, Paul.
Happy holidays, Jason. And you know what? You bring up a very good point. A lot of people reached out to us this week for two big things. The number one reason why people reached out was because Kentucky Fried Chicken has produced a movie for Lifetime, and they really wanted us to talk about that. And perchance we will next week. So you just have to stay tuned. But the bigger reason that people reached out was because of this breakdancing. I mean, this is a big announcement for the Olympics. I mean, and June clearly has issues. People want June to maybe be a judge or not be a judge. I don't know, but maybe we'll bring her out here and see what she has to think. Everybody, please welcome Miss June Diane Raphael.
Hello. Hi, Paul.
Hello.
Hi, Jason. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, June.
Well, I do have a lot to say about it. I mean, I think that ultimately I'm more comfortable with breakdancing as a sport than an art.
This is a
I am like that
huge
feels
unexpected reveal.
That feels better to me, that it's just considered physical and not aesthetic. You know, that it's not trying to make me feel anything.
But I'm assuming it's
wait.
going to be judged the same way as gymnastics or something like that, or the gymnastics that have dance and stuff like that. They're going to be judged on grace and
but here's the
moves
thing
and-
about gymnastics and even like the ribbon stuff and the ball, and yes, there's moves in between, but what they are ultimately always judging on is the actual like tricks, like the flips and the athletics
Call
of
them
it
tricks. Yeah,
Sure,
they-
but
Same with ice skating.
Those are present in breakdancing.
That's
as
what I'm
well.
saying. Like this actually
I see.
might be a great fit.
Wow, June, you're getting
Okay.
pretty hot. You're getting hot on
Can
the
I
mic
ask a
and
question?
hot for breakdancing.
Too loud? Listen, I have
No,
a
no,
bold.
you're good.
I've chosen a bold lip, and I need to live into it.
A lot of the comments are saying that, June, you look fantastic.
Well, thanks.
Oh,
You know.
excuse me. I guess I look like fucking dog shit.
And what about me? My background, my hat. Guys, come
Oh,
on.
by the way, great hat.
I
love
want you
this.
to. I'm actually, Paul. I'm going to need you to take the hat and put it over your ears a little bit.
All right. Well, this is kind of this
Much
is what
better.
you get.
Thank you.
Well, you know, we haven't had a guest on this show for quite some time because we've been in quarantine and we felt like it would be a little hard to navigate another voice here. But we couldn't let the holidays go by.
Boy, do we have a voice coming.
Holy cow.
Boy, oh boy. Set your levels, folks.
You guys are
couldn't
gonna have
let
to.
the
You
holidays-
guys are gonna have to ride the volume bar on this
Yes, get ready. Get your remotes out. Get your hand like hovering over that button, and just because someone's about to arrive.
All right, well, here is the deal. We could not do a holiday movie. We could not do a Lifetime movie without, I think she is our fourth unofficial host. Please welcome Miss Jessica St. Clair.
Hello, everyone.
There she is.
Hey, there she
one. Ooh, good
Got the
chance.
I would like to explain
Jessica?
to everybody why I'm wearing these gigantic headphones from the olden days. That's because Paul told me to buy them, and I thought the only way that you guys could hear me is if I had them on. It turns out that's
Listen,
not the case.
I'm
You don't have to-
always the first one to send Paul down the river, but I believe he was saying get those cans for when you're recording a podcast, just for audio purposes. But the rest
Thank
of us
you,
knew,
June.
like, we're on a live show. We're seen. Jessica,
Do
we're
I
being
have to
seen
wear
right
these
now.
right now? I don't
We're-
want
yes,
to. They're
I don't-
hurting
yes,
me.
you do.
Well,
You're
I think
on
you do now.
camera.
But don't
now
you have
need
something
otherwise.
a little more
like
subtle?
cool
I don't
little
know where they are, and I didn't know what Google Chrome
Well-
was. This whole thing
well,
is a
let's-
shit show.
Oh my!
I mean, let's just be a little bit honest here, Jess, and just bring the whole
You're at
reason
an
why.
undisclosed location.
I don't know where I am. I'm like at a Ramada Inn.
Are you and Shelley Miscavige? Are you and Shelley in the hole here?
You're at a La Quinta.
Guys,
So I
by
will
the
tell
way,
you about La
first of all-
Quinta. First of all, Jessica St. Clair. I'm
my
going to
God,
tell this
you're gonna
story
tell
very
the
quickly,
Palm
Paul, and then we'll
Springs story?
start. I'm so sorry.
I just want to say,
Jessica St.
say
Clair-
one thing, Jessica. The people in the comments love your cans. They say great cans.
Jessica looks
you.
great, and her cans always look great. But Jessica St. Clair organized a trip with the two of us and a couple of other girlfriends to a La Quinta in Palm Springs.
We had a
in
good
the
deal.
dead of
We got a
August.
good deal.
The dead of August. And I want to say it was like August 19th. Now, we arrived. I knew while I was driving there, like, something's off. Now, when I
Because-
opened the door
It-
to get to the La Quinta, the heat assaulted me.
It
I've
burned.
never
It was
felt
like
anything
burning
it.
flesh. It was like 110 degrees, so we couldn't really spend any time outdoors.
Can I ask a question? Was it a Bikram La Quinta?
A big quinta?
A
It
Bikram
was
Quinta?
terrible. It
And
was
I was
terrible.
curious, like, why did we get such a great deal? Well, turns out no one else wants to be in Palm Springs.
It's a desert location, is what I realized.
It's a desert
now.
location
It's a
and hot
desert
at
lo-
any time of the year.
Yeah. Yeah. You go there in the winter. You know, it was like John Wayne wasn't like going there in the summer. Now I know.
I am so excited that we are all here to talk about
God,
A
me
Very Nutty Christmas. This movie, Melissa Joan Hart, Barry Watson
Wow.
reuniting. They already were in another Lifetime movie called The Santa Con,
Oh,
where they
wait.
played brother and sister. Got to put that on the list for next year.
Oh, geez.
This is a
I had
Melissa
no idea.
Joan
Is
So
that
this
brother
is
and sister?
this
I
is
guess.
trading off of their chemistry.
Look, this is a MJH produced. This has got her written all over it. And boy, oh boy, I got questions, people. I got a lot of questions. First of all, my biggest question was, why did this look like it was shot with sports lighting? Like, you know, when you buy a TV and it like it's too bright. It's like this movie was shot.
It
in the
seemed
It
like
was
it had
shot
motion.
in Calabasas. It must have been shot in at a ranch somewhere.
Oh,
because
see, I
the
was
sunlight
like-
was so harsh.
I was
and
like,
they
this
only
is,
had the
to
budget
me-
for a couple snowflakes.
To me, this felt like Canada all the way.
Did it?
Am I wrong?
No, the sunlight was
I-
all California.
I believe it. I believe it was shot in Connecticut, but it was
Oh.
not shot in the middle of winter because if you look in the background of shots, there is no snow, and then
No.
they're standing
Yeah.
in snow. Yeah, but I was going to say that this
That
is
was
this
Mystic,
is the,
Connecticut. That's
It's
Mystic,
La
Connecticut.
Quinta in August
Yeah.
in Palm Springs.
That's
You know
what
what
it
it
looks
looks
like.
like? The lighting looked like, you know, when you drive past like workers who are paving roads at night
Yeah.
and they have those giant lights.
Yeah.
That's what it
You
looked
know,
like.
it looked like those lights were shining in through every window.
Well, it
Yeah.
looked like they were shooting scenes with work lights on,
Yes.
not
Yes.
the lights,
Yeah.
not the lights
Yeah.
for the show.
It
felt like when
said
you
lighting.
when you finish shooting a scene and they turn the work lights on for the stage and everything's lit.
And I never
That-
want to be seen in that lighting.
There was both
Never.
that problem and also sound wise, there were tons of moments, tons of sequences where there was no score and very little. Very little sound to fill out the world, so
You're
it
right.
felt hollow and weird. It felt like
Like
Melissa
we were
Joan Hart
watching a
was.
director's cut. Like we
Yes,
were watching
like you're
something
watching
where
just
things
footage.
were corrected.
we're watching the
Yeah.
dailies. The dailies are
Yeah.
coming
Yeah.
in, and we're like,
Yeah,
okay, great.
Before,
This will all be
before
fixed.
it's been mixed or anything like that. It
Here's
was.
the other thing. She's the executive producer, right, of these films, and like I would think she has a budget for good highlights.
I know you.
For-
I knew you were going to open up this discussion. I knew you
I
were
mean,
going
at
to
a certain point,
open
the roots
door.
were down to here. It's like she can demand that, you know, her personal. She can have her personal makeup on there.
But then my assumption is that's a character choice where her character doesn't have the. Remember, she's basically when she sees herself in the window, she's like, "Oh shit, I gotta do a makeover in one of the I think 16 music montages that are in this movie."
And by the way, the movie is about like
this
82
movie,
minutes.
if you took out all the montages, this movie is 11 minutes long. It is almost exclusively montage.
But let me ask you the question: like, what is the central problem of this movie? Like, I understand what Scrooge's problem is. Like, he's a miserly old man who doesn't enjoy the holidays, doesn't really surround himself with people. She doesn't seem like she seems to be a successful business owner who maybe is a little bit OCD, a little, like she's got a little bit of that anal retentive nature to her. But
she's not enjoying Christmas enough. That's her problem.
Yeah. To be fair, though, she's responsible for supplying cookies to the entire U.S. military.
And Navy, yes. Army
Listen,
and
I
Navy.
used to think you could order cookies by the dozen. Turns out you can only ever order cookies by the thousands.
In increments of 1,000. And I'm assuming these are our tax dollars at work paying for Christmas cookies. Tens of thousands of Christmas cookies. This is a wild endeavor.
This is a fun the military.
But this store, it does not seem to be. It doesn't seem to be packed. But yet she has to make 1,000 cookies in 6 days. And I did the math. That is 2,500 cookies a day. And according to a piece of information that we hear later in the film, these cookies don't exist after 1 day. They go stale after 1 day. So she is. I mean,
and there's only 3 of them. There's only 3 people. I mean, this also, I don't know if you guys felt, Jesse,
and they're also working the front.
But this felt to me like echoes of Governor Gabby, where Gabby is like those kitchen scenes where she's baking up a storm and you're like, what is the business model here?
This
by the way,
Lifetime has a fascination with like the female small business owner, and like they don't really get into the area of like a woman who wants to have a very successful like nationwide brand. They are much more interested in like the small town, small business owner who's like a florist or owns an antique shop and owns like a cookie place and owns a bookstore.
They set up the town as if it's like Stars Hollow from Gilmore Girls, like idyllic, weirdo people, very small town. Like maybe the small town can support a small bakery, fine. But
that the U.S. Navy would go to them. That's their go-to?
The Navy and the Army. And here's the other thing. There's a storefront. There's a storefront capability, and 0 people pay for anything. There is no money exchange
whatsoever. The kids
whatsoever.
come in, they all get free cookies.
Like if Marcus Lemonis was called in to handle this bakery, he would be like, you have to charge money.
Well, I think.
Yes. I mean, they're giving away too many cookies.
Well, but they are getting. Maybe they can give them away, honestly, because they are getting such giant orders from the military.
Yes. And also,
but why?
And
why
that it was
this
competitive.
Small shop?
I don't know. She gets a call that it was that the Navy is apparently competitive with the Army, so they just ordered 2,000 cookies.
Are they near a base or something?
How? It is Mystic, Connecticut. I believe there is, because I think that is where they shot it now. I think it is near a base. I think it is.
By the way, there's a big military through line in this because the Nutcracker himself is a soldier.
Oh yeah. And the nephew is at the end of the movie, the actual real love interest who arrives, the Deus Ex Machina at the end of the movie, love interest is also in the military. Conchata Ferrell's nephew.
Oh my gosh, we have to really unpack that.
But I didn't really want to fuck that Nutcracker. I definitely.
Oh, you didn't want to fuck that Nutcracker?
You didn't want to fuck. Okay, there's several Nutcrackers, right? There's the actual Nutcracker that you didn't want to fuck.
Wait, the toy.
I mean
the toy.
No.
Okay.
I mean the actual.
Listen, if I had a choice between fucking the Nutcracker doll, Barry Watts of the Nutcracker, or that guy, the military guy, I would try to fuck that doll.
Wow.
I am like this.
Wait, what about? Can I ask a question?
This
what about?
Doesn't have a shortage of great-looking men.
What about
Mario
Santa?
Lopez hairless? I'm like, yes, I understand that.
He wasn't in the movie.
She's saying if she wants
Melissa Joan Hart is becoming my new trash can fire. The last time or whatever I was on, you guys made me watch that piece of shit where she's stuck in a house where everyone had diarrhea.
Right, which is your life story 6 times a year, apparently. It's
those coconuts, those roadside coconuts.
That movie where everybody on Christmas eats a lobster roll from an airplane.
I'll never get over that, Jessica.
When I was first dating Dan, My husband, I made him. I think I forced him. I was like, you never do anything for me. So he made me for Valentine's Day a seafood pasta. And it had clams in it. And I went and was trying to furiously prise apart a clam.
And if you have to really pull it apart.
No, what are you talking about?
Don't do that. And I said, oh, no. The closed ones, they're the sweetest meat.
Jess.
Wow.
Not to.
That's
we
like
went to see the movie Topsy Turvy.
That
and I
is-
started to throw up.
That's what we call a classic.
You both are
That's a
poisoning
classic-
yourselves.
Yes, that's a classic.
You both
Jessica
are poisoning
St. Clair
yourselves. Yes.
Doubling down. She has to. She can't not. Doubling down and diarrhea be damned.
The closed one, that's the sweetest meat.
By the way,
And that's the
I
only
will say-
tattoo you have, right?
Yep. That's right.
and it's on both sides of your butt cheek, which is odd. Like it looks like a clam. So
Don't speak about her that way, Paul.
I don't
sorry,
think
I
that
felt
was
bad.
cool, Paul.
I felt bad. I
Oh,
felt bad.
why would you
saying
talk
it.
about her
Don't
butt cheeks
ever,
like
don't
that?
ever talk about my friend that way again.
Paul, just remember, you're already-
I'm outta here, I'm
About
outta
my
here.
butt cheeks.
You're already
you,
operating from
Keep
operating from a
my friend's
deficit.
butt cheeks out of your mouth. Okay?
Paul Scheer, butt cheek talker, potential poisoner. You are really digging a hole here, pal.
Really?
This quarantine's got me in a way. But you know what I did like? What I did like about this, June. I know you talk about small business, but I like, we're all actors, and this movie did appeal to that actor instinct, where they did talk about how an actor's most coveted role is Santa Claus. Melissa Joan Hart's boyfriend. That this is the role that he's been waiting for a lifetime.
Yeah.
They really rip on actors a bunch, actually. Remember she says, like, what does she say? Like, I could either make a living or...
She was in summer stock with him.
That's right.
And then so she was in summer stock, which is, I think, where they met. And then she went into investment banking.
Because she wanted to make a living.
Right.
Yeah.
And then her
Well, that's why
boss
she's
was
doing all those Excel docs at night. She's up in those Excel docs, those cookie Excel docs. I mean, what kind of like accounting is she doing?
Well, no,
Well,
I
if you
think she
look
was.
at the board,
it wasn't
though.
cookie related. Her financial job wasn't cookie based. It was she
Wait,
worked
wait,
like.
when
I'm
she's
saying-
up at night, Jason, at the house, she's still, even when the
Oh,
Nutcracker arrives,
I'm sorry.
dealing with, like,
I get it now. Yeah.
dealing
Sorry.
with
Go ahead.
like calculations about the cookies. But when you look at the board,
People are really saying that
of
she's doing
the
cookie math.
bakery.
She is. She's doing
Okay,
cookie math
let's talk about her
constantly.
cookie math.
Oh, this is
because
like it's a
she has
beautiful baking
15,000
mind.
It really is. She has 15,000 cookies to make. If you look at the board, the little like whiteboard they have where they're checking the list twice, she at one point for 15,000 cookies
So many.
has up. It's so many. It's so many. Says in her calculations for a recipe that she needs in her ingredients 10 dozen eggs.
Yeah.
Now
That is
I'm
not
a
enough.
baker, but
That
that
is not
seems
enough.
like it's not nearly enough.
She to make the tens of thousands of cookies she's making, she would need an industrial kitchen with
Yes.
many more. And here's the other thing.
She would
I-
need to
here's
fix
my
a whole
theory.
factory. She
I
would need to
think-
take over
yes.
a pre-existing cookie factory.
I think she's being pranked because, when she answers the phone, she's like, hello? Oh, hi, General. Do you think a general is calling the cookie store? Do you think the general, a general,
We're gonna
a
invade- we're
general
gonna-
in
by the
the
way,
army?
We're going to invade Afghanistan. and we're going
That's
to order
right, I feel
15,000
so
cookies.
unsafe.
It's like boop, 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 boop. Hello, delicious cookies or whatever the fuck you're called. I'd like to place an order. Absolutely not.
If
Yeah.
only we had Rob Riggle here, he could help us answer this because he's very high up in the military.
I want to return for a second, Paul,
please.
to her hair.
Okay, yeah, sure.
So
It's not
I'd
somebody
like to
who's not
spend-
putting effort in.
Okay. Well, this is the crazy thing. So, first of all, she's obsessed with like hair nets. And when Santa comes in, she wants to put him in a hairnet, but like nobody else is in a hairnet. Okay.
Okay.
But
And
she's-
she wants him to put a hairnet over fake hair.
Fake hair.
Which he essentially is wearing a hairnet.
Well, but if you
He's-
were to
he's-
get a cookie and there was a fake hair in it, I don't think you'd be any less upset.
Totally.
I'm just going to say this too, and I don't want to get onto this in a bigger way. Her cookies suck. I looked at
look
those cookies,
disgusting.
But they
were
tell
too
a
fat.
story.
They were,
But they tell a story.
too
But
fat.
you would think
Too
when
fat.
the whole
Too thick.
focus is because
Too thick.
I love the Lifetime recipe so to speak, of what a woman wants.
Yes.
They want food. They want sugar and spice and everything nice. They want to be listened to. The thing that the Nutcracker gives to her is he wants to hear her talk because no one else does.
Listen, Jessica, he is literally like a fuck doll come to life who wants to listen to her stories.
And why in these movies do they always want to be put to bed? This is the like
I wanted to
June watch where they like.
This is what I want to say.
Like a baby.
I want to disagree with one point you just made, June. He's not a fuck doll because she doesn't fuck him.
No,
I was disappointed by that.
It is desexualized women's wants. Everything you just said is true. It purports to be a relationship that is the kind of baseline of what a woman wants, but it is absolutely neutered to the point where I'm like, does this guy even have a dick?
But that's
like,
kind of like a life
story.
Let's talk about that.
Real
for a
question.
second.
Does
Maybe
this
he
guy
does it,
have a dick?
If you take the clothes off of a Nutcracker doll, not that I have, he doesn't have a.
Hold
he's
on.
not
Wait a
anatomically
second.
correct.
Jessica?
Sounds like you have.
Jessica.
He doesn't have a dick.
It definitely sounds like you've looked.
By the way, I did think that they set up something where
Does
she
he
glued
have?
his
Wait,
arm
can
back
I
on.
ask
Yeah.
one thing about Paul? I just want to see, Jessica, when you've peaked. Okay.
Nope. No peeking.
Does he have a
It's a
like
joint.
carved into the wooden?
It's just a joint.
Okay,
It's
so
like-
it's just a joint. It's not like a Ken doll where he's got like tighty whitey is like drawn
No, there's
onto
not
him.
like you don't see the promise of something. It's just and I would say this: if you are a doll that has come to life and you don't, and you look down and you go, you're gonna have to work really hard to get a woman to like you because
Here's what I'm gonna say.
When push comes to shove, you're gonna have to admit I don't got anything down there.
Can you imagine
I wanna take a look-
going
yeah.
to someone's house and they have nutcrackers on their mantle, a family, stockings hung and nutcrackers, and you peeked and it had a girthy, thick dick? You'd be like, what the fuck's happening right now?
Well,
This is
but here's the
crazy.
thing.
Do you think that
Also,
the reason
he
why the
set up a
Nutcracker?
world-
Oh, I was gonna say, do you think the reason why the Nutcracker loves to crack nuts is because he doesn't have nuts?
What?
Wow, if a tree falls in the forest.
I know. I was really as a deathly silence. I was gonna say, like, why does this character wants to crack nuts? It's like he doesn't have his own nuts, like so he has some sort of.
So you think
listen, I
you
don't know
think
that he
his drive? You think
Here's
his
the
drive
thing, though,
is
guys,
because he
it's
doesn't
not
have
that,
nuts?
It's not that he wants to have nuts. It's that nuts are presented to him. So he's not like someone who's like, he's not like a vampire, like, oh, I gotta crack those nuts or I can't.
Can I ask?
He happens to be around nuts.
Can I ask a question for real? In the Nutcracker, the ballet,
The ballet, which they
Nutcracker-
call like a musical dance show or something in the program.
First of just to
ballet.
very briefly comment on that ballet, the ballet performance of the Nutcracker they show is like a professional level,
Oh.
enormous
Yes.
theater production. And
Like
when
from
they
New
cut
York
to
City,
the
1987.
audience, yes. When they cut to the audience, it is sparsely attended and a tiny theater. That made me laugh. But
Well, I had a big issue with that theater because they were putting up ads the day it was. Okay, can we put this ad up in the window? It's tonight. Is that or that maybe it was the ball?
in
It was-
that
it was-
ballet.
Well,
in that
the
ballet,
scene-
does he crack nuts?
in the Nutcracker, like, are you saying in the Nutcracker?
He cracks
In the
a nut
Nutcracker.
or two before he
does?
gets broken.
He does?
Yes. He cracks
Okay.
a couple nuts, and then the brother of the girl gets jealous and
See,
shatters.
I do rely
Okay.
on you, Jessica, for
Mm-hmm.
certainly traditional Christmas lore. Like I know
Well,
your
of
father
course, I
reads
was
Night
put
Before
in
Christmas
I
every
was
Christmas.
put in a very scratchy turtleneck, not like
Yeah.
the one you're wearing, and a kilt, and
Everyone.
brought into the Nutcracker every single year at Lincoln Center. Of course, I was.
Okay.
This was the height of the '80s. My mom was in a fur coat. It was like, we're having the time of our lives.
I mean, that
Dad
is
had
the
a
Christmas
thick
tradition.
mustache. Yeah.
By the way,
That's
but I want to
living.
go back. I want to ask this question though, because you guys are assuming he has no dick, and I would agree with you.
No way.
But yet,
No way.
But yet, he has a backstory. Like he has watch this clip. See what he says here. Clip number 6. Take a look.
Yeah, I see the resemblance.
This Nutcracker is from China. I am from Germany,
Oh, we're in Germany.
in the small town of Siphon. My family owns a bakery there.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, that's why you're so good at my bakery.
Actually, I was a soldier. I was in the war in the Ore Mountains.
I'm going to start keeping up with the news.
So
I also need to talk about her dress for conservatively 4 hours.
What are these?
I
The way
I wanna
that
get
she
into all of
tried
it.
on every dress, and that's what she settled on. We'll get to it, but just to please continue, Paul, to talk about
I
whether or
just
not
want
he
to
has
say,
a dick.
so I think that he is a man who has been cursed by that older Nutcracker man. Like, he takes people and puts them in a wooden device as a torture trap.
Well,
because
that's the horror movie.
No,
that's
version
the
of
because
this.
look, it is the end of the fucking horror movie, and his eye blinks like clank, clank. It's like
I'm
he is
telling you,
trapped.
you could. Yes, and also even just her waking up to a man in her house and then realizing it's not the house guest, like this could have gone a very different way.
Yeah, well, I mean,
sure
but
could
so
have.
that's my thought. My theory is that the Nutcracker is a man who has been cursed to live his life as a Nutcracker because he has a story. He fought in the war. He has a family. I feel like he is like that man who lived in that house, that Ghost of Christmas Past that we watched last year, where
Well,
that
that's
man
what
was.
I want to
yeah.
know. So next year, Christmas season next year, is he going to come back to life?
Yes.
That's my assumption. My
Really?
assumption is that.
Oh no, he came to give her the gift, and the gift is a not as good looking version.
So
of him.
now he just
Methed out
lives in a
version, sorry to say
prison.
it.
Now he just lives in a
Yes.
prison for the
I
rest
think
of his
so.
life.
And that's unfortunate because I did think hats off
No.
to a couple of the performers in this movie. Hats off to Barry Watson for playing the Nutcracker. I thought
And
he did
committed,
a great job.
1,000%.
committed.
Love Barry
Did a
Watson.
great job,
Committed.
And
giving me
also-
very big Joel McHale vibes.
I thought he was
Yes,
when he
very
was
much.
cracking the nut.
I
when
thought
he was
did a
cracking
Yes.
the
great
nut.
job. Also,
That was
hats
Joel
off.
McHale, right?
Hats
I-
off to
I wanted him to put it in his
Marissa-
mouth.
Oh, Jarrett Whittaker, one of my
Oh, yeah,
Marissa
Marissa Whittaker.
closest.
Amazing.
Giving us
And
realness, giving us moment to
Realness.
moment
And there were
realness.
so many times, Jessica, I was like, God, why isn't she leading this movie? Because I want to watch that. She's
too.
just easy on screen.
Easy breezy.
I'm also
Easy
gonna.
peasy.
I
Let
also
it
want to
go.
shout
Throw
out
it away.
Rizwan Manji. I also want to shout out
Yes.
Rizwan Manji from Schitt's
He's
Creek,
great.
who I thought was also
He was
hilarious.
wonderful.
Tremendous.
So there are some
Charming.
Everybody-
Tremendous.
lovely performances in this movie.
Everyone brought it. Even and Melissa Joan Hart, my close friend. You know the story about Melissa Joan Hart and me. My close friend brought it.
Oh no, not that one where you brought her to school or something.
I didn't
Someone
bring
brought
her to school. I didn't bring her to school. A guy she
Somebody
was
brought her to
dating.
school.
Yeah, a guy she was dating brought her to school as like a show and tell thing.
And
And
you tried to get an autograph or something, and she told you to
to
suck
get
her
I
dick.
got an autograph. I got an autograph on my failing math test, and here it is.
Oh,
Wow.
God.
There it is. She
I
signed it,
like that she
Clarissa.
put Clarissa. Amazing.
I had to show it because it would mess up my white balance. Yeah.
Here's what's weird about Kate Holiday, the character she plays. So
Holiday.
Kate
Holiday's her
Holiday.
last
Kate
name.
Holiday has always had a crush on the Nutcracker. Now, when I think of the Nutcracker, before seeing Barry Watson's portrayal,
Mm-hmm.
I've always thought of the Nutcracker as like an older gentleman.
Weird mustache, formal.
Yeah, just
a
like
little
an
bit nasty.
older lad.
Probably
She
packing
says,
tobacco in
I've
his lip.
always had a crush on him. I was like, what?
Weird.
My assumption, can I just jump in? My assumption is she's referencing like the male ballet dancer who represents the Nutcracker in the performance
No,
every
Jason.
year.
She looked at it. She looked at
She did
him
look at that doll.
longingly and said, "I always had a crush on you."
That's
Oh,
Now,
wow.
maybe,
Okay.
yeah.
You know what I always had a
I
crush
always-
on? My fucking Paunch doll. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh, I remember
when
that
I had
Paunch
my
doll.
Chips
Yeah.
dolls, I was like, oh fuck that. But not this wooden guy.
I
No,
demand.
Fuck Eric
I
Estrada
demand
doll.
that you
Matt, can you
produce
find that and
Chips
show us a
dolls.
picture of that Chips
There is
doll?
absolutely no way you had Chips dolls.
I
refuse.
Oh, I 1000% had Chips dolls. Are you kidding me? Every Sunday night, I'd be like, are we done with the shrimp scampi? I gotta get to the chips.
Wait, you're eating.
I
Why are
gotta
you eating
get-
so much
You've
seafood?
got to chill out on the seafood. What is happening? Are we done with this shrimp scampi? What on earth are you talking
Guys,
about?
By the way,
when
here's
you're
the
doing
part
well.
you thought was sexy right there.
I had that doll. I wanted to fuck that doll so bad.
That's an aggressive hairline.
You're peeking down to see what he's packing, but you do not give a shit about that Nutcracker.
Oh
No,
my
No,
God.
sir.
you're right about that.
No
You're right about that.
peeking indeed.
Wow. Wow.
That
Well,
was That was unsettling. I didn't like that. I didn't like seeing that doll. And I didn't like the sexualization of the toy. But I thought there was like, it was funny to me in the morning when he was just lying there on the floor and she stepped over him. That was like, I was like, okay, I'm kind of now on board for this. But the level to which she was blasé about a strange man in the exact same uniform as her Nutcracker, in the exact same place as the Nutcracker, made me feel like, oh, she's not able to take care of herself.
I want to talk about that scene because
she's not mentally sound.
She should be. She's like she's somebody that would eat an offered lobster roll on a Delta in flight.
And just trust that like she's in first class, so it must be okay.
I will say this.
Not knowing
to design the menu.
Okay, listen.
Designer.
I feel like it was Southwest.
Might have been.
Jessica, I will never forget that. And I'm left so unsettled by that decision making. But I'm also so curious about people who come downstairs or out of their bedroom fully dressed. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yes, she was ready for the day. Like, she hasn't come down to have her cup of coffee yet. She's like, I'm going to get showered, dressed, and then come down and have my cup of coffee and then leave.
Oh, interesting.
You know that in
I do
growing
that.
up, we were not
You
allowed
do
out
that,
of our
Jason?
rooms.
I do that.
You get fully dressed.
and then you start your day. That's how I was raised.
So that once
You're
I'm
not supposed to come down in your pajamas.
I'm downstairs, baby. I'm living that downstairs life.
Whoa, Molly
I don't need
says
to
she
go.
does it as well.
I don't need to go back upstairs. That's time wasting.
Wow.
I get out of bed. I shower, change, and then I come
Before
downstairs and
coffee?
I start my day.
Oh, don't get June. June is
Before coffee.
I mean,
Well, he
June
looks
is.
at his closet of 4,000 white shirts. He's like, it's like
I mean,
Pee-wee's,
it doesn't
the beginning
take-
of Pee-wee's Playhouse.
It doesn't take me long to do this. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not a long process. I can be showered and dressed in 20 minutes. Then I'm downstairs. Right. Boom, my day is
Stop
on.
bragging.
Wow. I love
That's how I was
June
raised,
cannot
but now I do
move.
the opposite.
Yeah, June cannot move without a cup of
yeah.
coffee in her system, like immediately.
But
even
isn't
if
there something
it's just
so
to go out to have a cup
wonderful
of coffee.
also, correct. But isn't it so wonderful to lounge around in like your, to let the day kind of settle in? Like, I'm not so ready to let go of sleep. I'd like to still be in sleepwear. I'd like to have a coffee. I'd like to read the newspaper. Like, I'd like to settle in and then
Okay,
go
so
get
then here's the caveat I will give, which is that you and I live very different lives, because I will lounge around, but in bed, because I don't have to get up. So if I lounge around emailing from bed or
Got
whatever,
it.
but once I exit the bed, I'm
go
like,
time.
Close.
I'm now I've chosen
Do you have
to
a
enter
TV in
the
your
day.
bedroom? Do you have a
No.
TV in your bedroom where you pop on the TV? Okay, so you won't
Not
pop
at
on a
all.
TV there. Okay.
Zero.
When does coffee happen?
I shower, I change, I go downstairs,
Before
boom,
coffee.
French press.
Wow.
Now, Jason, let me ask you this. So, do you do the
Yeah,
same
go.
thing like when you win all your gifts at the auction? Do you bring them up to your bedroom and put them on your bed? You're like, let me get these up on my bed. I won't leave them in the
Nothing.
living room.
Let me be very clear. Nothing goes in my bedroom. Nothing is brought into my bedroom.
Oh wow, no shoes.
Is that a fear of bed bugs?
That's a New York bed bug fear. Yes.
I'm telling you, you didn't let me sit down on anything for almost 2 years.
Yeah. No.
We weren't allowed to sit. When we entered the ECB, someone had the bed bugs and we were not allowed to sit. We were not allowed to sit on wooden benches in the park or in the subway.
By the way, you're welcome.
Wait, but
Wow.
you don't bring like a glass of wine or a cup of coffee or anything?
Into the bedroom? No.
Sure.
No. The only
bring
thing
any-
I will bring
any beverages?
Here's the, I'm sorry. Let me. I'll give a caveat to that. I will, at the end of the day, I will bring up tea at night to go into bed. If I'm going to read in bed, I will bring up like a sleepy time tea.
Okay.
That's it, though.
If I
There's no
had a
tea.
dick, it would be inverted by now from that description.
Wow.
If you had a dick, it would be inverted. Wait,
inverted.
let's chase down the logic of that. So in that, you have a dick, but this is so unsexy. Why don't you choose to be a woman who is turned off by that?
I will tell you, Jessica, I don't like a man who drinks tea.
Me neither.
Sorry, Jason.
Wow.
I don't want to see a man drinking tea.
Okay.
I want a man
So you
drinking a
think-
black cup of coffee.
So
Yes.
June, but at
But no,
night,
you get angry at me when I drink a black cup of coffee. You go, you're not
because
going to put
you
anything
already
in
have
it?
too much
So,
energy.
I'm
I
sorry,
don't want to
June.
hear the word sleepy time. With
June, can I ask a
following.
question? So, June, you think hot beverages are gendered?
Yes.
Coffee
Very
is-
gender
coffee
normative
is-
when
Did
it
you-
comes to beverages.
Coffee
I'm
is
just
boys,
saying,
tea is
for
girls.
me as a heterosexual woman, I'm sure, like, I don't think it's about gender necessarily, but I don't want to see my partner drinking tea.
Oh, interesting.
As a
Okay.
heterosexual woman, I don't want to see a man drinking tea.
Here's
Even
what
if
I'll
it's
say.
Respect yourself.
I don't want to see
Here's what
you
I'll say.
drinking it.
I am so comfortable in my sexuality that I will crush.
Okay.
Here, I'll show you.
Oh my gosh, you're going to make him drink tea on camera?
No, I'm not going to drink it, but I'm going to show
Listen,
you
I've
what
done
it is.
live shows with Jason.
You have
I've
a
seen him
tea
drink.
caddy?
I've seen him drink a cup of tea before.
Oh, God.
Soothing
Wow.
caramel bedtime.
Wow.
Take
No,
an Ambien,
Wow.
like a real man.
And I guarantee you, people in the chat are wet for this.
People are saying coffee is dogs, tea is cats.
Absolutely, and I'm a dog
100%.
person.
Wait, I need to.
I'm not drinking coffee at night. By the way,
Wow,
this
wow,
is
wow.
coffee. I'm drinking coffee right now.
I have
You know-
lost track. I have
You
lost
shouldn't
track
be
of the
drinking
show.
coffee right now. It's almost bedtime. It's 7:30.
I have to drink coffee right now so that I can scream as loud as possible at you.
I got my iced tea. I'll tell you this much.
Tea? Ooh.
Iced tea, different. It's a 50-50.
Now that's interesting. June, do you think iced tea is? Are you
totally
comfortable with a
different.
man? Okay, got it.
Totally different.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to call out, because we haven't gotten to Melissa Joan Hart's hair, which I know, June, you've been willing to talk about a lot. But I also want to just talk about Melissa Joan Hart's acting. Because in that scene when she finds him on the ground, the amount of acting she does to get through that scene. Melissa Joan Hart has to do so much heavy lifting of not realizing that this man is not the person she thinks. And I want to just play a second of that clip of her finding him on the ground, because you watch what she's doing. She's doing
It's funny. This is a
Yeah.
funny scene. Also, her tree is funny.
I'm coming, Rosa.
Yeah.
What the heck? Hello? Hello?
Good morning.
Nope.
Oh, you must be my house share guy. I wasn't expecting you until tomorrow, but I guess you found the key under the mat? Why were you sleeping on the floor?
I was tired.
And boom, she's off. And she's off to the races immediately. Bam, 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 bam. She lives.
Can I ask
she
you a
lays down
question, though?
exposition.
I don't... He says I was tired, but later, when she wakes up and he's already at the bakery, I had the impression that he doesn't need to sleep. Is he a magical being, or is he a real man? Real question.
He has the energy of Elf, like Will Ferrell's Elf, but he also feels like he's been around for... Like, that's the thing. I don't understand what he is. Does he want love? Because he kind of writes her like a friend zone friend zone note at the end. He seems okay that he's leaving. He seems like he did fight. He was a real person. That's the friend zone note. But I feel like I don't know what his energy is. Like, he's a child, but he's not a
just there
child.
to like
Help?
awaken her
Protect her.
vagina. Yeah.
Wait, do you
just
think that he got her wet?
Paul,
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't say that. That's
Like, don't say that
disgusting.
ever again. But yes.
So gross, Paul. You're so gross. It's so gross when you're so sexual. I don't like it.
Look, I drink coffee. I like to talk about wet pussies.
Oh my God. But yes, I do think so. And I was bummed that they didn't fuck. Like, that was, I think, a missed opportunity.
Shocking.
It was
It was
shocking.
shocking. When I at least thought we were going to see him like put her down onto the bed, and then we fade to
Did they
morning.
kiss? Did they even
They
kiss?
kissed.
No.
Yes, they did.
Oh,
They kissed, but they kissed like a friendship kiss. They didn't kiss passionately.
Right.
She kisses him, and then he says, "Can we do
I
that
don't kiss
again?"
my friend that way.
I
What?
more mean it was not. It didn't. I'm sorry. It didn't seem overly romantic. He says, "Can we do that again?" And they do it again. It's like this. They just pushed their lips
Yeah.
together. There was no.
But after
Okay.
the ball, he just goes, catch you later or something. Like catch up with you later. And then
Right.
that's weird. But
I also felt
think,
like-
I
Okay,
think
go
they
ahead.
think women want that. I think that they think did women write this movie? Who wrote this movie?
This movie was
Yes.
written by a husband and wife.
Interesting. Because I think maybe they think, oh, we're going to tease it out. You know what I mean? We don't want to give it to them like, we're going to do like a touch of the wrist and a glance across a crowded room.
But then the end
it just seemed crazy.
The
to me
end
that
should
they
have
didn't
been
do something that
he
night.
should have played the part. He should have been the soldier who came home then. I think because what they did was they gave you a soldier who came home who looked just like him. Like, look at this side. Look at these two people next to each other. And it's so weird. It's like, if he would have played both parts, it would have been maybe more magical.
Should have been him.
Yeah, like, take a look at this. This is like the two of them side by side here. This is,
I agree. This
to
was,
the right
I
is the
agree
better
that
version.
this was confusing and made no sense. I think the same actor should have played both roles.
Yeah. It was
also
bizarre.
because then she's like so in love with him, the Nutcracker, but then like a second later she's like into this new guy, and then she's kind of like a Nutcracker whore.
We're supposed to basically what Melissa Joan Hart's character does is transfer all of the romantic energy of the movie built with this other man and pours it all onto a literal stranger who if I'm that guy and I'm like, hi, how are you? And she comes at me with so much momentum, I would be like, what is going on here? I would say to my aunt, you've set me up with a lunatic. Like, what is this?
I mean, he's also on furlough, which is not a term that I've ever heard in the military. Or maybe I thought furlough was more of a prison. Oh, it is? Okay. I thought that was odd. I thought it was a prison term
from
at
Germany?
first. I was like,
Do we still have forces there? Is that what is happening?
Also,
Bring
why
our
is
troops
everybody
home.
from Germany?
Hey.
Why is everybody from Germany in this movie?
And the guy, so he could actually meet with the. I'm more concerned about the guy, Richard Ryle, who gave her the thing. Like, he also found that guy and gave him a Nutcracker, which makes me go, did that guy have a similar experience with another male Nutcracker? And he was also prepped for this relationship at the end.
He
they both have
evil too. If I at first thought, is that Santa? I thought he was the real Santa.
The Nutcracker merchant?
Yes.
Yeah.
At first I thought, is he Santa? And then I thought, oh no, he's like, has like a devilish, like an evil look to him. But I don't know if it was just the mustache.
So you thought he's either Santa or he's like the guy that sells you a gremlin.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Well, the movie
Same
does
difference.
dip into.
Same difference.
It's weird. Like, there are points in this movie where you think like, oh, we are now in a horror film. Like, there are several moments that dip you into
like every time
very
he says the
territory.
Mouse King's coming for me. That's scary as hell.
When she gets the text that says your Airbnb guest has canceled due to illness, there should be a music sting that is like alerting her to the fact that a murderer has been in her house. Yeah. Like, that should be that should turn the tide of the movie into like Sleeping with the Enemy or something like that. You know what I mean? Like you can't trust this person. Or Melissa Joan Hart should immediately say, that is the Nutcracker brought to life. I need to check if he has a dick.
Yes. Agreed.
She should have walked in and said, show me your dick. Hey, you, show me your dick.
It's what's weird though. Is she upset with him? Like the scene where she puts it all together at the ballet or at the musical dance program, which is
the
what
Nutcracker.
They call it.
Oh, you mean when they have like 2.5 minutes of flashbacks to Act 1?
Yes, and it's like the audience already knows this.
We're on board with this.
I'm watching this movie.
Yeah, I have to be here. So, but is she upset with him because he hasn't told her? Like, I couldn't quite.
I think she's upset that he's gonna leave. That he has to leave, and that he's a toy. That is just, she can't have him because he's a toy.
Okay.
And she doesn't want to see him anymore. Remember when she goes, it's too painful. Please leave my store. And he's like, but the Mouse King's coming. I have to protect you.
Oof.
That's what a schizophrenic person says.
You know, like, he is in many ways, should be considered at that point a mentally ill person.
From the very beginning, when she finds him sleeping on her floor.
What's Conchita Ferrell's name in this? I can't remember her character's name. She's the Miss Patty of this world.
Yeah, totally.
She gives him a set of normal clothes. Not normal, but
from the 80s,
she gives him a set of clothes, more contemporary than what he's wearing.
Right?
Yes, but what he never does is wear them. He continues to only wear
one time.
that uniform. He wears it that one time when she gives it to him. But then after that, it doesn't matter. It's just he's only wearing the uniform.
I bet you anything that at the end of the day, Barry Watson's like, somebody take this hat from me. It's very heavy. I bet it
Clara, thank you.
Yeah. it just really, I think that hat was probably something to really, really struggle with.
But I mean, when they put him in this outfit, this Dixie cup, like he looks like he's a Dixie cup. I mean, when you see this shirt that he's wearing, it looks like those like little cups that you get. Like, yeah, there it is. Like,
That's exactly
he
what
literally.
it is. How funny.
So he has a Dixie cup logo there, and that was Avril calling that out. That was so great. But yeah, I mean, I would have liked to have seen him in that, but he's not comfortable in that. He is a soldier, and that's why he's able to actually man that store and run the whole thing. Like he was able to run it like a military operation. Sorry,
I couldn't ever tell what the problem of the movie was, because the problem seems to be that they have too many cookies to make. But then halfway through, like he gets another order, and it's like, oh, great! It's like, no, not great.
No,
like
not only that, because of his hard work, though, they are a day ahead, so everybody gets the day off.
She's got a lot of downtime.
Right.
I mean,
There's one day he makes 1,000 cookies in one morning, and then is like, "Well, I think we're ahead of time, so now we can have a day off."
They're not
really,
because they need to make
if they go stale
a day.
Yeah.
Right.
So I couldn't figure any of that out. That didn't add up to me. I felt like that was faulty logic, but it allowed her to go on a shopping and makeover spree and have
which
like
was,
a 10-minute
by the way,
montage.
the second reference to Sabrina in this entire thing, because she has a cookie named Sabrina. So after her cousin. So Melissa Joan Hart in this movie is related to Sabrina. Sabrina also is in Connecticut.
Oh.
So they're like Sabrina the Teenage Witch and this character share DNA. She might be a witch. And then that dressing montage is the exact dressing montage that was in the credits of Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
How much do you think Melissa's making for these movies? Because is it like a porn where like porn star where like you shoot 100 but you make, you know, a good amount? You know what I mean? But you have to shoot a ton.
Can you walk through your porn math again? You shoot 100?
You shoot 100 what?
Movies, films in a year, and then you have a lot, but you're doing a lot of work for it. Is Melissa making? It's not like she can shoot one of these Lifetime movies a year and live on
so
that.
Like, do you think she's in like an old timey like Hollywood contract, like a studio contract?
Yes.
Like Lifetime has her under a lock and key. It's like another Christmas movie.
100%.
So you think Lifetime operates on a pornography model?
Well,
that doesn't sound right.
No, but I heard that they'll have like one ice skating rink, and so one movie shoots for 5 days, and then they turn the angle, and somebody else uses that for another Lifetime movie. I swear to God.
So I've heard that actually the Lifetime movies pay very well.
Okay.
And that you stay to act in. That you stay in. I mean, you know, I love a luxury hotel.
Like a La Quinta in Palm Springs.
That job
no,
just
I
for the
didn't
hotel.
love a La Quinta. But I do love a luxury hotel, high-end hotel experience. And I have
That's
heard
a big thing with June.
that, yes, it's a very big deal for me.
Do you remember
June
when you
once
did
thought I
my
took her
show?
to-
You found your way to a suite and
Yes, I
were
did.
wrapped up in a hotel robe like seconds before she was expected on set.
Yeah. If I see a nice hotel, I'm going to enjoy all the amenities that are offered to me.
Wow.
So I have heard that Lifetime shoots most of their movies in Canada, but sets you up that they always put you in a Four Seasons. Now, I've kept that little piece of information in the back of my brain. And I'm just
say no
saying,
to it. I
wouldn't
wouldn't necessarily say no to it. If
They
the four of
know-
us were in a Lifetime movie,
I'm
we would
just
have
Well,
saying.
here's my
Somebody tried to
question.
write us a Christmas movie last.
Oh, really?
100% say yes.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm sorry. Like a real person, like a person, or just like a joke, like
A real
for us?
it seemed like they were like, we wrote this for you, and then it was like, now can we go and pitch it and say that you guys are
if
attached to it? Yeah, so it
Lifetime,
was-
here's what I'll say: if Lifetime wants to reach out to us, we will make a Christmas movie if we are allowed
Absolutely.
to control whether or not our characters have dicks or vaginas.
Fine.
We need to have input.
we want an unrated version of it, and we want a regular version of it. I think that's a fair thing to ask, and it should be as somebody says it should-
Our movie has sex scenes. Unlike these movies, our movies have sex scenes. Because guess what? Aspirational romantic movies should include sexual
Let's talk about
congress.
normal people. That was getting
That-
everyone hot under the old Clair, right?
The,
That's for
the Jessica St. Clair.
I mean, that is truly.
I haven't seen it yet, but I've received several texts from Jessica.
It.
That
is
for the mom.
horny. It is horny and fantastic. And it is
Wonderful.
worth a watch. But that's what I'm saying. Those kind of relationships should be, people in these movies should be fucking. Because if you're
Well, but I
not,
think
then
it's-
you're aspiring to kind of cold, dead, non-sexual romance, which is, I would hope, not what people want. I don't know.
I mean, I think that
I'm just like almost 48 and single, so maybe I'm the dummy.
I think that there's a
Take another sip of
sweetness.
tea, Jason.
This is
Seriously,
coffee.
look at it.
This is coffee.
Doesn't matter. You showed us what you bring to bed at night. It's
So
a
you
real
think the
motor
reason?
killer.
So I just want to be clear. You think the reason I'm still single is because I admit to drinking
Listen,
tea? Wow. I'd love for
We're all
people
doing a lot of soul searching during this quarantine.
I'd love for listeners to comment wherever you can. Please at anybody to explain whether or not that's the reason I am not married
Now
or have a
listen,
girlfriend.
I respect a man who's like, after a hearty meal, gonna have some peppermint tea as a little digestive.
Hey, that's me.
Like I
do that.
understand. Yeah, that's Paul. That's the man I'm married to.
That's just the only reason Paul's doing that is because that's an add-on to that meal.
It
Like,
is
he's
an add-on.
only doing it because he's like,
But
what
look,
else
I
can
respect
I buy?
that.
Hey, you're gonna
More.
bring that little box over to the table? Let me have a little bit
he
more.
was like fingering through that box to see what's available.
Please don't describe going through the box as fingering through.
yeah, what do
just,
they got?
Just
What do they got?
flipping through the box like it's a vagina.
But I don't think I'm alone. I mean, maybe everybody in the chat is okay. So the chat seems to love Jason and T. So great. But for me, it's not. I don't feel the same way. And and I'm not a tea drinker.
Me neither.
So that's also a personal
Well,
preference.
what's interesting, I will say this: coffee is dehydrating. The caffeine is dehydrating you, and tea is a way to continue to hydrate.
People want, team Jason. I'm going to tell you this. Talking about this, like the sexuality of everything. I had a big issue online with a romance novelist, Victoria Denault, and I read one of her books about hockey, a hockey romance novel, and it was actually quite good. But the fucking in that book made me blush to a degree that I was surprised at. And I feel like, look, these romance novels, they go for it. And I think private, like a VOD service, like
Lifetime.
Oh no,
get
read
into it.
yourself The Outlander if you want to see about some hard fucking.
Well, that's a TV series in which a modern woman time travels to introduce blowjobs into olden days, right?
Well, he pile drives her pretty frequently in that movie, and
He pile drives her pretty frequently.
he does.
Wow. Maybe I need to watch Outlander.
Oh my gosh. Well, that was like whenever Edward James almost directed like those sexy episodes of Battlestar Galactica.
Battlestar.
Yeah, he would get really too sexy for me. Let's go to what people think in the chat. I want to hear some questions from the chat. Yeah.
Before we go to the chat, I just want to briefly touch on with everybody here how we all felt about the scene in which Melissa Joan Hart chugs eggnog from a half-gallon Pyrex measuring.
But by the way, it wasn't like liquor eggnog. Like eggnog by definition is not always liquor.
Thick nog. It was thick.
And doesn't that have to be refrigerated?
Yes.
I mean, it is just eggs and milk.
Now again, do they? Here's another thing I'll do. Something's left out, right? I'll say, do they refrigerate it in France? Probably not. Like they keep their milk.
Yes. You're gonna get sick if you don't refrigerate it.
They keep their milk on a shelf. They keep their eggs unrefrigerated. So I'll play fast and loose with that at times.
Wow.
Now listen, I do think you're right about that, Jessica. That in America we're sort of like
refrigerating shit.
Yes, we're over sanitized.
Yes.
I mean, maybe not during this pandemic.
Let's also be clear.
Please let's not tell people not to put their milk in the fridge. Yeah, like,
St. Clair's out here eating lobster rolls on airplanes. So
And prying open clams that should stay shut.
Maybe put your eggnog in the fridge. Is all I'm saying.
Put your eggnog in the people. We're
With
at
the
holiday
amount
season,
of
put your eggnog
diarrhea
in the
that St.
fridge.
Clair is comfortable with, I'm concerned with her opinions on this. By the way, looks great. You look great, babe.
You do.
Oh
and
my
if this
gosh.
is some sort of diet, then I need to know about it. I'm angry that you haven't told me.
You look
Every 6 weeks, St. Clair's like, Dan, why don't you make a seafood
No, he said
pasta?
no more scallops in this house. He's like,
Oh. By the way,
bring a scallop
hold
in here.
on.
Talk about poisoning. He's like, you're trying to poison me with these.
I'm
scallops.
just realizing
Love
that
a meaty
Jason-
Holy
scallop. Ooh.
Jason, I'm just realizing, like, eggnog to you
That will
must
kill
be.
you.
Yeah, that must have been a hard scene, Jason.
It's like I honestly I got hives watching the scene.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you have to hit an EpiPen after that?
I did. I have my EpiPen right here. I was like, fuck. When I saw the eggnog, I was like, fuck.
Listen, I love eggnog. Like my
Right.
father used to make an eggnog that I
It's
feel like
amazing.
so emotional about because it reminds me of my dad. And then Paula started making it these past few Christmases without my dad, and it's been like a lovely tradition to pass along. But I don't go at that eggnog like I'm gonna get fucked up right now.
You don't. I wouldn't think eggnog. I don't think of eggnog as like a comfort chug.
No, like you're
No.
literally have to
It's a
ladle
sip, it's
it
a
from.
sip.
I
It's
know
a-
what is in an eggnog. I've never had
She's
it.
like,
It's
oh, I
delicious.
just
I'd like to
got
get you some of
It's rum.
our eggnog.
I just
Not you,
got
of course,
dumped.
Jason.
I guess I'll drink a bowl of batter. It looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring some over to your house, Jess, and I'll leave it on your doorstep at night, and just don't drink it until about 2 or 3 in the afternoon.
That's
but no,
that's the
but
other
I will
thing
say
about-
that
anything that Paul makes, like he makes it and I'll leave it in the kitchen, like Bloody Marys, eggnog, and it looks so good. And he's like, "Taste this, like just try a little bit of it." And I'm like, "Oh my god, I need that right now." And then he's like, "You can't have it for 2 more days."
well, I like to
It
let
makes
the
me-
Bloody Mary mix to marinate overnight. I feel like after 24 hours, it's really gonna be good.
You, by the way, June, be careful. Paul might try and poison your nog.
I know that would be
never
very painful.
Poison.
Because you won't be able to really notice it because the nog is so thick and viscous.
Well, listen, it is a very we do make in our house a very strong eggnog.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
For
But
the holidays,
again,
we're gonna
like,
get into it this year.
I would never head there to just like escape my reality.
All right. Well, let's start popping in some of these questions because this show has been all over. So Roland says, is Chip aware of his origins? Like, does he know that he was previously inanimate? Was he cursed in the form of a nutcracker? All right. So here's a couple questions. This is a great question because when she asks him what his name is, he looks down at the cookie and goes, Chip. But yet he does have this story about being a soldier and having parents who own a bakery. So wouldn't he have a name like, like a German name?
Yeah,
I mean,
why
like,
isn't his
what is-
name-
yeah.
Right.
Why isn't
And he has
his
that
name?
tattoo that says "Made in Germany." Which
Yeah,
seems
which
like,
seemed
kind of like a World War II situation.
Like I felt like maybe there was also a swastika somewhere in
That's
there on his
right.
body.
I'm glad you had that feeling. So did I.
I was worried. He was a little too German for my liking.
Yeah.
Well, he did
And
have
I
that
say that as
tattoo on
someone who's German.
I have that tattoo made in Germany on my back, on my neck, and it's a cool tattoo. It's it's for all my friends when I hang out with all my cool friends. We have like nightly meetings. Now we have to do it on Zoom. But no, this movie, I believe that you could. I think that she should pass that nutcracker onto somebody else. Like I wanted her to pass it to that woman with all those kids. I didn't understand why that woman had all those kids and what her story was, but I felt like she needed to be like, you need this more than me. And then we would know, that's the
that'd been
sequel.
great.
Yeah.
That'd have been great.
It's like
I don't need
it's like
this
a great
anymore.
vibrator where you're just
Right.
like, yeah, but
Yeah,
but
it's like a
unused.
wooden. It's like a
Yeah.
wooden.
It's exactly like
vibrator.
that. Yeah, that's what women want. A wooden vibrator.
By the
They
way,
should
they
do
missed-
splinters.
By the way, they didn't.
with harsh edges. I don't wanna shove that thing
Don't
up
you
there.
think they missed a big joke where she glues his arm back on, and then like when she has the flashback to 40 minutes before, she like remembers that like it would have been great if he showed his arm and it like had glue or something
Or
there.
or
like,
it had like I was anticipating it would be unstitched, like his uniform would be unstitched or something
Oh, yeah.
to signify the damage that had been done and repaired, but still not perfect. But no, they didn't do any of that. Wait, guys, can we talk about the dress? I mean,
Oh,
just
yes. Let's talk
briefly.
about the dress. Yes, please.
There are so many outfits that she tried on that looked so much better. She looked as if she was trying to match his period uniform, his 18th century German soldier's uniform or whatever he is. She looked like she was trying to match that, not look like everybody else was wearing contemporary clothing. People weren't dressed up like in
Well, it was a
costume.
ball. Now listen,
But,
the
June,
ball,
it wasn't a ball. It was an upstairs of a theater.
It was the
small-
lobby of a theater, and it was carpeted.
It was carpeted. That was upsetting. It was like
dance
it was
floor
like
was
an
That is-
AMC. It was like
That
an
is
AMC.
savage.
There's like popcorn.
We should play that dancing
encrusted
scene.
into the carpet. But here's the thing too: a woman's shoulders. You're never going to find a woman's shoulders that aren't attractive. It's an attractive part of the body. Why would you put that strap? It's such a shame.
So you wanted the dress to just have like that, just the side
Do that.
tool,
Yes,
and then
let it be
without
all,
I agree.
Let it be chest.
Let
Let
it
it
be
be
chest.
chest.
Let
But
it
don't
be
let
chest.
it
Give me
be
that-
this.
give me
Yeah.
an off-shoulder.
I agree completely.
Don't
I
let it
agree.
be this.
I was in the war.
Yeah.
This
War
was
Mountain.
like Jessica McClintock prom look. And, oh God, it was so confusing. Listen, I've never seen like a more basic white lady in a Lifetime movie. Like this was to me the pinnacle of just like
It felt very
basicness.
Midwest. It felt very Midwest, like Lifetime movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, no, not in a bad way. Like I just felt
Ooh,
like
you're
I
gonna
felt it
hear
was
from
very
all those
It's
really-
not in a
Midwest
good
ladies.
way. She's hiding her arms, someone said in the chat. And yes, of
doesn't
course she
have-
is.
I
But the
get it,
problem
but
is
you don't need
she's-
to.
Well, but she should have cut off that first strap here and just
To get
done
some
the
more
side
bust.
ones.
Oh,
and
wait,
then
you
let
want
us
just
see.
these?
I want just these.
Oh, interesting.
Wow.
I would have gone the other
Yeah,
way.
of course.
No,
Well,
I
people
want
are
just
saying
these.
that they're saying that they did her dirty with that cape. I actually think the cape
She did
was a
herself
nicer.
dirty.
Well, yeah, she did
The
produce
cape
it. This is
looked like she took it out of a vampire's costume from a costume shop. And then
It looked like a
fixed
little-
it.
it looked like a
was
little
made
Red
of
Riding
green.
Hood.
Okay.
So here's
Here's
my
what I'm gonna
question.
say. Here's
Wait,
what I'm gonna
Jason,
say.
She got
Yeah,
in
go
that
ahead.
carriage, and that aunt seems to have helped her through many
What's
different.
happening
Where are
in
we
St.
going,
Clair?
Jessica?
Guys, I'm so sorry, but it looks like my computer is going to die. Hold on. You keep talking. Guys,
Oh
you
my
keep
God.
talking.
Oh
Keep
my
talking.
God.
Couldn't be better. Couldn't be
Keep
better.
talking.
This one doesn't have a plug either.
Don't worry, guys. Just don't worry about
Go
it.
ahead,
Keep
June.
going,
June,
keep
you were.
going.
Go ahead.
Well, I just was wondering, that woman, that aunt,
Yeah.
why couldn't she ended up being at the ball and
Yes.
seems to have like played a big part in her life. Like, why couldn't she have gotten a ride in the carriage?
Well, by the way, that to me was the scene that I wanted to see, which is like, see you there, like because it was like. By the way, how did Chip have any money? Chip is spending a lot of money willy
He
nilly.
buys all of the here's what I think. He's spending her money because he puts her name down on
Oh.
all. It's not Chip. He puts her name down. So she at the end of that ball, somebody
got
must have
Kelly
walked up to her
Clarkson.
and been like, "You owe us $7,000,000," or whatever. She won
She got
every
Kelly
item.
Clarkson by Chip. This is what it is. He comes into
Interesting.
pretends to like her, and then he uses all of her money on carriages and dumb things.
He
And
can't.
this is it.
He has no money. He's a magical being. He has a wooden sword. He is like he genuinely is it's as if a lunatic wandered into town and everybody was like, "He's one of us." Like
Just 'cause
it's crazy.
He cracks nuts.
Oh my god!
Well,
when
people
he
loved it.
cracks
That's when
all those
it went
nuts with
viral.
his hands.
There,
That's
that's
next level.
I have a personal fascination with bad background. How High has some of the best bad background you'll ever see. That's the Method Man Red Man movie. This is, I think it takes the cake because the kids in this movie, they look like they're just waiting like animals for cues. They're like, when Santa comes, they're like, Santa. Like they're almost
Or
like
when it's
Sims.
the beat when whatever school is out and all the middle school kids rush into
Oh my
the
God.
cookie store where they're all apparently once again given free cookies,
Free
as
stuff.
many as they want, and they're so excited. Like they're learning all the wrong lessons. You can't en masse crash a local business and demand free things. You know,
But by the
if
way,
the
they're also
children of
treating him like a
Stars
British-
Hollow, if the children of Stars
They
Hollow
never would've
burst
behaved
into
that way.
burst
Luke
into
Steiner
Taylor's,
started taking a bunch of
yeah, guess what?
of
Taylor
egg
or
creams.
Luke or whoever is going to be like, no, that's not how this is working.
Well, by the way, they also like try to like tease him like a British, like a beefeater soldier, like the ones that guard the Queen's palace. Like they're like, move, are you gonna move? Like that's also not part of the Nutcracker, I don't think. The not moving.
Oh, do we need to talk about the Mouse King, the two mustachioed gentlemen?
All right, so throughout the whole movie, we hear that the Mouse King is coming, and the reveal is there is the Mouse King
picture
truck
will
right there. Yeah, that is the Mouse King truck. It is, I mean, that is it. I mean, the Mouse King was true. He was a mover, I guess.
Wait, can you go back to the picture of her, Paul, on the cover, on the poster?
I want to see that girl. I want to see that gown. I think we have access to better things.
That's
I
a
really
movie.
do.
That's a movie. That's a movie I would watch. A movie in which Melissa Joan Hart in that dress fucks a life-size Nutcracker.
I'm interested.
With a big wooden dick, a
Interested.
big vibrating wooden dick.
That is wooden. It's not come to
Okay with
life.
that.
It's wooden.
All right, let's take another question here. We got two more
It's
good
like
questions.
Lars and the Real Girl.
Oh man, the real Randolph Dresselmeyer. Why doesn't he speak German? Okay, why doesn't Chip speak German or even have a hint of a German accent? That's a really great question. He is German. Again, this movie is confused about what this Nutcracker is because he has elf sensibilities, but he also is someone who's lived a life, but he's also German. Yeah, confusing.
But that gets back. I'm sorry to jump on you, but that's my same problem with Chip himself. Chip, once he comes to life, if we're meant to believe the story at the beginning that the merchant tells her is that he was cursed and turned into a nutcracker, and this is the original Nutcracker. He then comes back to life. He should be a German man whose name is like Klaus or Hans or Fritz
Yeah.
or something.
PTSD from the war.
And he should speak German or English
Only
with a
German.
German accent. He should speak only German and or whatever. But none of that is the case. So he's just like a hunky American guy. And I just am like, or Canadian guy or whatever. I don't know what the actor is. But I was like, I don't understand what the deal is here. And I also don't understand like why he's just there to be of service. Like, it seems as though his whole thing is, I just want to be of service. And so much so that at dinner, she says, thank you. Oh, no, she says that to the nephew. Thank you for your service. It is really like the most desirable man is a man who is only of service, you know,
By
in
the
a way that is.
Yeah.
In a way that is.
Look, I'm gonna say this. I love my wife. Wonderful person, and maybe I could be of more service to her. So I appreciate you.
I know you
actively-
can.
Listen,
I know you can.
If Jessica St. Clair knows about anything, it's about love languages. And I know there's a couple
Acts
of
of service.
love languages, and one
That's
of them
mine.
is acts of service. Now, are you acts
Take
of
out
service
my garbage.
in terms of okay?
That's doing it
Wait,
for
you're
the
not acts of service,
downstairs.
June, because I'm all acts of service.
I'm
You're
definitely not
touch.
acts of service.
Yeah.
I'm physical touch.
I'm acts of service.
Yes, but like
What are the other ones? Sorry.
Words of affirmation.
Oh,
Quality
I think that's
time.
me.
yeah, words of
And
affirmation.
you like quality time too. You like
Yeah.
nothing more than to do a crossword.
I like quality
puzzle for
time.
700 hours with somebody.
Yeah.
Not
Okay, cool.
me.
I just
I'd
was wondering.
rather
Thank
take
you.
out your
Go ahead.
garbage.
So you can have a different love language. Like your love, I mean, I've learned all of this from Jessica, but the love language you like to give someone is not necessarily the love language you like to receive.
But it's
Of course.
usually
Yes.
that.
Yeah,
Usually what you give out, you also like to receive. And why you have a lot of problems is I'm taking out your garbage to show you that you love me, but you just want me to sit and do a crossword puzzle and drink tea with you because you're quality time. So what you have to do is learn what is your partner's love language. Now, I did help a man who is the cashier at Barney's, the food
Beanery?
place. Yeah, he was having a really terrible, terrible time with his wife. They've been married for 50 years. And I said, what is her love language? And he didn't realize he was giving her acts of service, but she was quality time and words of affirmation. And so over the months, they've repaired.
That's
Wow, I love that you really got in there. Let's
See,
get to our
Paul,
last question
You really
here.
like to give acts of service, but that's not something I like to receive.
No, but yet you appreciate an act of service.
I do, and I tip my hat to it, but I don't like it.
You don't
Doesn't.
like
It's not fueling
I'm
you.
still trying,
It's not fueling
but
you.
it fuels me. I'm trying very hard to always improve my husband game. I'm learning, I'm trying, and I'll figure it out eventually.
I mean, listen, Jason, the nicest thing you ever did for me as a friend is offer to take a dump in that guy's closet who stole all that money from me.
Also, the offer still stands.
That's an act of service. If
I
I ever
literally,
heard
and
one.
I'm not joking. I was like, that is the nicest
That's an act
thing.
of service.
To be
And I
fair, this was before I knew that you had such a facility with having diarrhea. Had I known you could handle that yourself, I would never have offered.
But it was
It'd be
so
10 times
readily
worse.
available.
But no, it's true. I did offer to do that, and am still sad you didn't take me up on it because that guy
I am
deserved
sad
it.
too because I never get that money back, and I really
Yeah.
wish you had shit in that guy's
No, we
closet.
should have taken. I should have hidden 2 dumps in that guy's house.
Yeah.
One for him to find, and one for him to not find, and be like, "Why does it still smell like shit?"
By the way, this is a great question from Mike B. Why was Melissa Joan Hart complaining about cookies when Ginger was raising 5 kids by herself, running a dress store, and organizing every event? Ginger
I
is
would have
the
liked
one
to see a
that
movie
needs
about
that
Ginger.
doll.
Me too.
Yes.
Ginger's a sequel.
Ginger-
Get Ginger in that
Ginger
sequel.
is the hard. By the way, Ginger deserves to find true love.
Yes.
She's out
Ginger
there
You're a
fucking.
single mom? No, she's
Yes,
not a
hustling.
single
she
mom.
is.
Wow.
She
Joanna
seemed to
Howard.
be at
Joanna
the-
Howard.
She seemed to be at the ball alone, and
And some of
honestly,
those kids seem to be adopted. I felt like they were not all from the same family necessarily. And so look at what she's
Careful,
doing.
Jessica.
What? Oh, no, I didn't.
walk away, walk away.
Wow.
Proceed.
Wow.
I did it all
Carefully.
Oh my gosh. Well, obviously we have opinions here. We have very strong opinions. But now it might be time for a second opinion. And here is a compilation of the best second opinions sent in by you, our listeners.
Jingle bells, this movie's swell, so I gave it 5 stars on Amazon.
Second opinions on Amazon. Fa la 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 la, 5 stars.
We made a little fun, it's second opinions time. We're not the only ones, it's second opinions time. But there are some peeps who disagreed. A cinematic masterpiece. This movie put them over the moon. They're probably mad at Jason Paul Dune. Baby, it's second opinions time.
Nice.
Wow.
Love that.
That
Those
was
were great.
Was the first gentleman in the movie? Was he the
I don't think he
boyfriend,
was.
Santa boyfriend?
I don't think you. Do you
Okay.
think he was? Can we take a look at him? Let's
He
take a look.
looked a lot
I
like
don't
him.
think so.
Do we
But
know-
you're right.
Do we know that Molly? I don't know.
He had that. He had the
awful
hunky
lot.
look. He
Yeah.
had the hunky look of that guy.
Well, all right. So there are 333 ratings, total ratings. They're checking right now to make sure to see if that's the guy. 333 positive ratings here. 64% are 5-star ratings. And I'm just going to jump in right now and say this. This is the title is Odd but Intriguing and Heartwarming. I've been super depressed this Christmas, but when I saw Melissa Joan Hart and Barry Watson in a Christmas movie, I decided to give it a chance, and I am so glad I did. I was a little disappointed when Chip had to leave. I was hoping she had somehow broken the curse and he could stay human. In that way, the movie reminded me of the Mannequin movie with Andrew McCarthy. But I love, if you're a Watson fan and a romantic fan or a Christmas fan, this movie will not disappoint you. Sorry, I edited this review. I don't know how to delete the previous one. 5 stars. So that is this woman is saying, if you're a Melissa Joan Hart fan, if you're a Barry Watson fan, if you're a romance fan, if you're a Christmas fan, this movie will not disappoint you. So that is going to cover a lot of base. By the way, I did say the one thing that I found disturbing, I was going to save this for the end, but I'll talk about it now, was that the couple that did get together, that was Rizwan and your friend Jessica, who were great in the film. They looked like they had like some hot and passionate sex, and they got in those very Christmassy pajamas.
Onesies.
I was
that
into
felt
them.
like
they
that
were like the Suki and Jackson of this story.
Exactly.
Because
They
you
were very
know
cute.
Suki and Jackson are fucking in Gilmore Girls.
In their vegetable patch.
I mean,
Yeah.
like total Pound Town, you know,
Yeah,
like
at
fucking pile
Sure.
driver.
All right, so this one is another one from Snow Lover is the person's name. So we know that Snow Lover is going to like this one. Snow Lover writes, I like this one a lot.
This person is a cocaine fan. That's what that is.
Snow Lover writes, I like this one a lot, but I'm partial to Nutcrackers, so they won me over with that. 5 stars. So this person just likes Nutcrackers.
There are people who have an obsession with them.
I guess.
You know,
I mean, I have my own dolls. We'll talk about that next week.
Growing up, they were like a big part of our Christmas decorations. And every year, Santa would bring a new Nutcracker
That
dressed
has
in
a theme, a
yes,
different
a
theme.
different outfit, a different accompaniment or whatever.
I hope people stay tuned for next week's episode because I can show you the dolls that we have in this house. So we'll save it because we're running late.
I've seen them. They're going to murder you in your sleep. If someone's going to poison you, it's going to be those dolls.
We'll get into it next week. Daryl Brasseau writes, awesome movie. This was a gift, and the person said it was an awesome movie. 5 stars. So this person got on without even watching it, just wrote a review off of the recommendation.
Just had a couple eggnogs and then let it rip.
And then finally, Blues Chat writes, we love Melissa Joan Hart and her Christmas movies. They are almost as much fun as Sabrina. I say almost because no Sabrina, no Salem, no Hilda, no Zelda. I think a Christmas rom-com with Salem would be Possum. Salem was the cat. I love Sabrina. My husband and I enjoy curling up on the couch in front of the fire and watching these funny, uplifting romantic movies. They bring us joy and give us hope for the future. It's so nice to see good people doing good things. I pre-watched it when my husband was gone, and I went to go find it last night, and it disappeared from Amazon Prime. I hope it comes back. I really want to see this one again. 5 stars. So her and her husband did not have a Christmas miracle. They did not get to share it together.
I will piggyback on that and say during this time of year, I also like just watching Christmas movies or holiday movies.
June and I watched
I will
Christmas
always
Chronicles
end up
2.
watching The Family Stone or A Love Actually or
Scrooge.
Our friend Mary Holland co-wrote a great movie called Happiest Season, I think.
Happiest Season. It's so much. Oh yeah, it's
terrific.
great.
I just watched
Scrooge
it. Great.
is great. Vacation, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, the best vacation.
Die Hard.
June and I have watched
Home Alone.
Die Hard. Lethal Weapon 1.
Home Alone.
Home Alone is great. By the way,
And
Home Alone 2, don't sleep on it. Don't sleep on Home Alone 2.
Also the Christmas episodes of Gilmore Girls.
100%.
Some of the
It's
best.
interesting. Like, I never think of Christmas. And this is, I think, maybe one of the fundamental problems I had with this movie is that I don't like to think of Christmas or my holidays aren't, I'm going to say this, magical. And what I mean by that is I love being with, I think the meaning of the holidays is to be with family, to be with loved ones, to sort of like align yourself with your value systems. And to, slow down and to be with the ones you love. And that is magical. But I don't like a holiday movie that is actually like
in which, or like, what's it called? Miracle.
On 34th Street.
I'm actually okay if the magic has to do with like Santa.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? But
I get it.
You don't want like a special
like this kind of movie. You mean like this Nutcracker
kind of
movie?
There was nothing about it actually that sparked the holiday spirit in me.
Got it. I agree.
And I love a holiday movie.
You know why? Because it's ultimately, and I think, and this is, I don't want to blame the movie for this. I think in order to make a movie feel like it's a Christmas movie, you have to spend more money. Like you really would have to.
When she goes out to her car to
Really
clean it
good.
off,
You
there's
really
only
have to have
tiny
snow.
pile of snow.
You
Yeah.
really
They
have
didn't
to
have
like.
enough. They
You've
didn't
got to
have
spend
enough.
more money. This didn't feel. This was all
No, like I said,
interior.
the
Gilmore
behind-
Girls always had enough snow. They always
Of
had
course,
enough snow.
of course.
Well, by the way, I think they
the
were-
Palladinos are spending that snow money, baby.
But by the way,
so
I heard there was
much
a lot
snow.
of coughing on those sets. That's a sad truth about Gilmore.
What do you mean?
There's a lot of
Because of
coughing. There was
COVID?
no, there was a lot of like,
Too
ooh,
much
that fake
snow?
snow can get
Oh,
into your
yeah.
lungs.
Well, I will tell you this much. They did make fun of the fake snow because that was a town that was covered in real snow, but yet they did have a fake snow machine, which I felt like they were like, just put the camera on the fake snow machine too, because it's like, let's embrace it. We can't pull it off. Because that ice skating rink was also not ice. That was like plastic.
As far as I'm concerned, Alan Rickman, my Queen Emma Thompson, their storyline of Love Actually, incredible.
Gut-wrenching.
Also, Joni
Gut-wrenching.
Mitchell. Also, Joni Mitchell. It's like my
Also-
3 favorite people.
Guys,
Yes.
Lethal Weapon 1 is a Christmas movie. No one wants to talk about it, but that is
Never
a movie that
seen
takes. Oh,
Oh,
It's great.
I
Lethal Weapon
don't
one.
mind.
I'm
I
gonna
don't
say,
mind that.
my favorite Christmas movie, and I know
Oh,
it's
June,
not
I don't
off
like it.
watched.
I don't like
but
it.
Mixed Nuts.
I don't like it.
What the
Oh,
What is
Mixed
Nuts?
Nuts. It's Robert Downey
Guys,
Jr.,
it's-
right?
No,
And-
No, it's
Steve
No,
Adam
what am I
Sandler
thinking?
and
It is
Steve Martin.
My
Oh,
man,
no.
Steve Martin.
What am I
And
thinking of?
it is Rita Wilson and Adam Sandler and Madeline Kahn doing something that is so fucking great, alone in an elevator with children's toys. It is so good.
Okay.
It's a Nora
I'm
Ephron.
absolutely
Like
gonna check
clearly,
it out.
it's so great. It's clearly
It's
like
a Nora
written as a
Ephron
play.
movie? It's a Nora
Ephron movie, yeah.
Clearly written as a play, and I mean, it all takes place in one apartment, but it is so good.
It's the cast
And-
is unbelievable, unbelievable.
Yes.
I'm gonna
And-
watch
Okay,
that.
great.
And it, especially living in Los Angeles, it is an LA Christmas movie, and you feel that.
I would
like
could
Lethal
I
Weapon.
call could I call When Harry Met Sally? Almost remember that Christmas
No,
when she's
it's
pulling
not.
but she's pulling the Christmas tree. That's when
I mean,
they're not
there's
getting
some,
there's
some
elements
Christmas
to it.
in it, but
A
it's not a
season
Christmas
goes by.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A season
it's
goes by.
it's a great movie, but that's
I love
not a
Harry Met
Christmas
Sally.
movie.
All right. Such a good movie.
I think we
You
really
call it
kind of
Harry.
hit all of our.
You call it
I
Harry
think we could.
Met
Harry
Sally?
Met Sally. It's when.
I think we. When?
You're not like,
when?
what about- Harry
Listen,
Met
I
Sally.
agree with Paul. HMS is one of my absolute faves.
Harry
Like
Sally.
I was watching
Harry
HMS
Sally.
the other night. Ooh.
I love Harry Sally.
When Harry Met Sally.
Harry Sally is one of my favorites. I will say this: we really had a lot to say about this movie, and it was so much fun. But before we get out of here for the night, I want to give a shout out to all the people who help us here on the show, and Molly, who has been amazing in our chat. She's just awesome. We love Molly. But I also want to give a shout out to Devin, our engineer, who's traveled the country with us, and he's amazing. Devin has an album out on Bandcamp called The Beginner's Guide to Birds. It's a 52-track charity box set of songs that he wrote and recorded from 2003 to 2018, and it's available for $15, and all that money goes to Girls Rock Chicago, She Rock in Minnesota, Camp Rock, all these nonprofits that support girls, women, trans, and non-binary musicians with equipment and resources and opportunities to make their own music. And you can get this.
so cool.
It's awesome. And by the way, it's great. I've been listening to it nonstop. Painkillerthepigeon.bandcamp .com. So painkillerthepigeon.bandcamp.com. You can pay $15, you can pay more, but I love what Devin is doing there. A big thank you to Avril Halley for picking this movie. A big thank you for Nate Kiley for doing all the research. A big thank you to the ghost of Craig T. Nelson, who does our amazing designs that you've seen online, and Kyle Waldron,
Speaking
who
of
is
the Family Stone.
right there he is. Kyle
Everyone
Waldron.
has to watch that movie. Not enough people have seen that movie.
We love Kyle, who took over for Leanne Waldron, and remember. Oh, and a big Kyle and Matt, who are running the show behind the scenes here at On Location. We love them. They make it
Can
so
I say
easy
one
for
thing,
us.
Paul?
Yeah.
Can I just say one thing that although this movie did not put me in the holiday spirit, this show and seeing, of course, Paul, I see you all the time, but seeing my dear friend Jessica and her amazing face, I'm so happy to see you, Jess. And Jason, I'm so happy to see you. And this, I really am so happy to see you. And I hope you start getting the kettle ready for your sleepy time tea. And
Get it inverted, and you'll hear it.
And just Cody and Molly and Devin, I just am so grateful to have this show and to have this moment to all spend time together. This has put me in the Christmas spirit for sure.
I'm excited, by the way. Oh, go ahead.
I guess the question I didn't ask was, would you recommend this movie? 100% yes from me. I love my experience here. Everyone
and
across
it's
the board.
literally,
For a laugh.
what did you say? It's like 70 minutes long. It is not. It doesn't. It's fun.
Weird
it's
act
totally
Goes down
fun.
Yeah.
like a thick nog.
We will see you all next week. Remember to rate and review the show. And if you want to talk more about this, just give me a call at 619-PAUL-ASK. That's 619-PAUL-ASK. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. We could not do this show without you. We love that you are here. We love that you're spending our Fridays with us, wherever you are around the world. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And have a great, great night. We'll see you next week. Hopefully, all of you. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.